Welcome friends. In this video tutorial, we will learn how to restrict the edit text component to accept input of certain characters from a user. Any other characters will simply be discarded on the fly when entered. First of all, we will change this constraint layout into linear layout and give it an orientation of vertical. We add an edit text element here in order to accept user input. We give it an ID in order to refer to it later on in the Java code. Now we add a button element. Width will be match parent and height wrap content. We give this button a label and name it submit, which will be displayed to the user when the application is run. We give it an ID so that later we can refer to it in our activity code. Text view element here. This view will be used for displaying the text which enters by the user into the edit text view. We give it an ID of text view for reference purpose. We start our emulator. Click on the run button. Our application is running fine. Specify the member variables here. The edit text member variable will hold a reference to the edit text inside the layout, and the button member variable will hold a reference of the button element. A text view member variable for the text view element. We declare a private string member variable here by the name of message. This member variable will be used to store the text entered by the user into the edit text when the button is pressed. Edit text will hold a reference of the edit text view. The reference will be written by the find view by ID method of the activity. And text view member variable will hold a reference of the text view. And button variable will hold a reference of the button view. Now we add an on-click listener to the button variable. This on-click listener event will be executed when the button is pressed. We get the data entered by the user into the edit text by using its getText method, and thereafter the toString method, and in the last we use the trim method. So any unnecessary spaces should have been removed from both ends of the text, and then we save this data into our message variable. We assign the message data to the mText view by calling its EditText method. Now we click on the apply button and apply the changes and run the application in our Android emulator. We enter some text into the edit text and then click upon the submit button. The enter text will be displayed into the text view. So far so nice. Edit text dot set text empty string. For clearing the edit text when the button is clicked, input type phone, and this will display a phone keypad when the edit text gets focus. Apply changes and run the emulator to check the effect of the input type phone. As you can see, the keypad has been changed now from the plain text to the phone numbers. The digits attribute allows us to specify the characters which we allow to the user to enter into the edit text. Any other characters will be discarded. Now apply the changes and run the emulator. The changes are applied to the application. Now we tap to the 1 is entered. Now we tap to the 2 is discarded. As you can see, the 2 is not mentioned in the digits attribute, therefore it is not being considered as a valid input. So is the case with all of the other even numbers, because the digits attribute only contains the odd numbers. Any other characters other than these odd numbers will simply be discarded. Now we specify the remaining numeric characters into the digits attribute so that it may accept all the numeric characters from 0 to 9 along with a space character, a decimal point and a comma. All of these characters will be considered as valid input and the user can input them into the edit text. Now we apply the changes and run the application into the emulator. Now tap to the numbers, enter some spaces, a decimal point. As you can see, these are the valid characters and we can input them into the edit text, but as you see, we cannot enter an hyphen because it is not mentioned into the digits attribute, but we can enter the comma. To further check the functionality of the digits attribute, we insert a carry return here /r/n, which is used for new line. It is also called a carry return. Now apply the changes to the application and run the emulator. The application is running. We remove these characters from the edit text. Now we enter some numeric characters into the edit text along with the new line character. As you can see, the edit text is accepting the new line. In this way, the user can add new lines, which is a valid input in this scenario. Thank you friends for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please subscribe to my channel for future updates.